Hi there and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew Toole and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which will be Melanie Tyndall Memorial Race Day, the 23rd of August. Almost 6 years ago, the NT racing industry lost Melanie in a race fall here at Fanny Bay, and this race day is always run in her honour. It is a day when we reflect on the dangers of racing and the sacrifices our jockeys make, and we come together to celebrate Mel's life on this day. The first race on the card of 6 gets underway at 2:03 p.m, with the last time to go at 5:10 p.m. The Melanie Tyndall Memorial will be race 5 at 4:30 p.m. In the first, the Sportsbet Trobus Handicap, the first division of the 0 to 58 1300 metres. My numbers are 3, 1 and 2. Found this a tricky race to work out and we divided the 1300 for the 0 to 58 gallopers, but I settled on the numbers of 3, 1 and 2. I went with number 3, Peerless Lad, trained by Chris Pollard. Christo Sardelic takes the mount, drawn the inside gate. Hasn't been racing in the greatest of form during the carnival, did win a race back on the 7th of June. Some of the performances since then have been only so-so, but it was one of those races that I thought if he put his best foot forward here, Peerless Lad, he could be hard to beat. He's dropping in grade quite substantially, down from a 0 to 70 last time he raced. That was behind his stablemate Villa 79 on Cup Day, and he's back to a 0 to 58. So taking a bit of a throw at the stumps here and going with number 3, Peerless Lad on top. Ahead of number 1, Merchant Delight, broke its maiden last week in Catherine. Did a good job there for Phil Cole. Christo Sardelic rode on that occasion. Wanderson de Villa, visiting from far north Queensland, he takes them out this time. And Merchant Delight is my second selection. In for third, number 2, Style and Grace, trained by Ella Clark, and to be ridden by Jessica Booth, claiming 3 kilos. Been a bit disappointing, has Style and Grace. Last start effort here behind Bahama Bay in the sales race on Cup Day. Finished 7th of 8. Was only beaten 6 lengths, and if it gets back to anywhere near its best, Style and Grace, I think it can feature in the finish here. So numbers in the first are 3, 1 and 2. Race 2, the Sky Racing Trobus Handicap. This is the second division of the 0 to 58 over the 1300. Numbers here 5, 3 and 1. Going with Chris Pollard again, number 5, Danger Man. Christo Sardelic takes the mount here. Christo had a great day out at Catherine last week. He won 2 races, including the Ladbrokes Catherine Cup on Hettinger, so well done to Christo. Danger Man was racing well in the lead up to the carnival, then went a couple of ordinary races early on, but last time out on Cup Day I thought was pretty good behind Villa 79, finished 5th. And only beaten nine lengths on that occasion, but it was a race that Villa 79 won really well in. Down and trip from that 2,050 metres back to the 1,300, I suppose is a question mark, but should have had a nice freshen up, and I thought Danger Man on his best form would be some chance here. Number 5, ahead of number 3, Carrot Time for Jason Manning and Vanessa Arnott. Last started on Cup Day, went 4th in the sales race behind Bahama Bay. Beaten just under 4 lengths on that occasion, and was 4th the previous start as well. I think it's getting close to a win here is Carrot Time, and I've got it in for second. And my third selection, a newcomer to Darwin, number 1, Senor Bill, trained by Paul Shires. Paul takes the mount here, and Senor Bill was 4th 2 starts back at Geelong. He won his maiden at Ballarat, and formerly trained by Patrick and Michelle Payne, now finds his way to the Shires stable here in Darwin. I've got him in to run third. Numbers in the second, 5, 3 and 1. The third's to become a DTC member handicap. This the benchmark 54, and this over the 1,200 metres. Numbers here are 1, 5 and 7. Well, he was impressive winning on Cup Day, number 1, Rising Fire. He was less impressive 2 days earlier when I had my hard earned on him, and he finished down the track, but he came out and did it everything right on Cup Day in the hands of Paul Shires. Jason Lyon takes them out here. Jason's had a great time here in the top end. This is his last day's riding in Darwin before he heads home to Albury. I know he's not too keen because the weather's still pretty cold, but keep an eye on the Grasshopper on Saturday. I'm sure he'll give you a great sight on his last day's riding for this sojourn anyway in Darwin. Rising Fire, as I mentioned, that last start win on Cup Day, had raced okay in his preceding runs. He does tend to mix his form a little bit. He can be a bit of a trick, but if he puts it all together, he's hard to beat here, number 1. In for second, number 5, Villa Royale, was impressive winning in maiden company here during the carnival. In fact, on day 7, in the hands of Hannah LeBlanc. Adam Nichols rides this time. It's got a record now of 1 win, 8 seconds and 3/3 from 18 starts. So hardly ever goes a bad race. Villarreal. It's only had the one start in Darwin and was good in winning that maiden. Up in grade here, but I think it'll race very well again. And then for third, number 7, Full Damage. Christo Sardalic for Chris Pollard. He was a good second when he last raced here. That was the 28th of June, so missed the whole of the carnival. Full Damage. So he's in a fresh state here, and I think he can race well in that fresh condition. So numbers in the third are 1, 5 and 7. We go to the small field of the day. Was a 5-horse field, the Book Father's Day at Silks Handicap. We've had an early scratching, unfortunately. Number 3, Disco Donut, has come out. So only the 4 to go round here. 2 of them trained by Terry Gillette. And the favourite, no doubt, will be number 4, Mr. Marrakesh, and he's my on-top selection in this 0 to 64 over 1100. Those numbers 4, 2 and 1. Mr. Marrakesh looking for his third win in succession for Gary Clark. Adam Nichols has been on him his last 2. He takes the mount again. Was meant to have a run on Cup weekend, this horse, but he had suffered a little bit of an injury and a float mishap on the way to the track, and he was late scratching, which was a shame because I think he would have won on that occasion. I think he'll win here on Saturday. Number 4 on top, Mr. Marrakesh. Head of 2, Brat, trained by Terry Gillette, and the stablemate number 1, Bow Factor. They're my second and third selections. Stan Sakos on Brat. Dakota Gillette rides Bow Factor. Brat was third last time out in the Lightning. The Montgomery Lightning behind Wild Bow on Cup Day, and Bow Factor, he was 6th behind Kissing Sapido, also on Cup Day. I think in this small field they'll be there or thereabouts. Numbers in the fourth are 4, 2 and 1. We go to the fifth, the feature of the day, the Melanie Tyndall Memorial, to be run over 1,000 metres, and my numbers here are 5, 2 and 1. No less than 5 horses that ran in the Palmerston Sprint going around in this 8-horse field, and one of them, Hello World, is my on-top selection. Number 5, he's trained by Chris Nash. Of course, he's only had 3 starts in Darwin, for a first, a third and a very good fourth, I thought, in the Palmerston. Came from a fair way back. Hit the line well. This isn't probably his best trip, 1,000 metres, but 3 weeks between runs. I think he'll be nice and fresh and ready to go. And he was only beaten 1.9 lengths by Early Crow in the Palmerston. Sonia Logan aboard again. That's good enough for me. Number 5, Hello World. Ahead of number 2, Baldino. He finished 5th in the Palmerston, so just behind Hello World. Jared Todd takes them out for Gary Clark. He was a good run too. He came from a long way back in the Palmerston. He's a top chance here, no doubt. And my third selection, the 1,000 metre specialist, number 1, Rising Sphere. He finished at the rear of the field in the Palmerston, but he's a good deal better than that. And 1,000 metres is his go. He's won 5 times over the strip from 15 starts. Jason Lyon takes them out for Clarkey. So numbers in the feature, the Melanie Tyndall Memorial, are 5, 2 and 1. And the last of the day, also over the 1,000 metres, is the Mindle Beach Casino Resort Handicap. This the Class 2 event. My numbers here are 5, 1 and 2. Going here with number 5, Tolution. Chloe Baxter trained. She had a great carnival, of course, Chloe, with 8 winners. And Jason Lyon, his last ride, as we mentioned, his last day's riding. This will be his last ride on Tolution. Drawn the 1 gate, last start winner here on Cup Day, beating stablemate To The Point. Only has to reproduce that sort of performance. It'll be hard to beat here. Number 5, Tolution. Ahead of 1, All Inclusive. His last couple of runs have been better. He looked a real smart galloper in the making early on. He's just had a few little issues, I know, certainly at the starting stalls and what have you. Stan Sakos has been aboard his last 2, and he seems to have got the right tune out of this horse for Gary Clark. I've got him in for second. And my third selection, number 2, Oakland Raider. Phil Cole, he'll be at Kununurra with a big team, but his team will be well looked after here, and Wanderson Davila takes them out. Numbers in the last are 5, 1 and 2. Best bet on the day, race 5, number 5, Hello World. I think he can get another win on the board here in Darwin. He went really well in the Palmerston. He's a pretty smart horse, I think, and just turned 5. I think he'll be hard to beat here. Race 5, number 5, Hello World. Well, the best roughies in race 3, number 3, probably won't be that rough either, because he's trained by Gary Clark and he's Physical Graffiti. Been a bit disappointing, but I see they've got a barrier blanket on him for the first time. Hopefully that works the trick, and he's my best roughie, race 3, number 3. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. Our next meeting here in Darwin after this week will be in a fortnight's time. That is on the 6th of September. So until then, good luck and good punting.